Whoa. Hey, hey, hey. Whoa. Ha. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Hey. Hey. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Happy to see you guys in here. It's the trade room, y'all. We got charts today. We go macro. We thinking big picture. Let's go now. Let's go now. Let's go now. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. This is about to be fun. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. It's a macro Saturday. We got things to talk about. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Listen, like, subscribe, put your alerts on. I'm happy to see y'all here today. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Hey, welcome to the trade room, y'all. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. We're gonna get started soon, guys. Love you guys for showing up. Make sure to like. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to share with a friend. It's time to get litty. See you soon.
What up?
Hey.
What up? What up? What up? What's up? Welcome to the trade room. It's a macro Saturday, the second Saturday of 2024. Shout out if you're here with us today. Thank you for being here. Make sure to put a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe if you have not before. Always shout out to the chat. Let's see what's going on. We got a lot to dig into today on this macro Saturday. What do we have going on here? Let's see. Welcome to the trade room. That's right, Sticks. Skiller, what up, Skiller? Yeah, guys, let me know if it's being a little choppy. What up, Dags? What up, Zen? Sticks says, hey, what's going on with my stream yards right now? Sticks says, perfect little video for my drive from San Diego. Sarge is even cooler in person. Yeah, I know you guys met up. You guys met up with Christian Peter, I believe. I hope you guys had a good time. Dax says, "Whoa, trade. Why is that picture so tiny? Am I just not used to watching on PC? No, I shifted it. I used to have myself in the middle a little bit, but I shifted it. Cause hotel. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know if this hotel Wi-Fi is doing me justice. Obviously, you guys still see my background is the same, right? living in luxury mentally and psychologically. Um, yeah, Stick says, yeah, we met up with KP and other DFK homie. Yeah, that must have been fun, man. That must have been fun. I feel like sooner or later these hangouts can't be just one day. Like we're gonna have an all-out bonanza and do a whole weekend and have to explain it, to our significant others why we're gonna go do a whole weekend with a bunch of gamers. But that's to come, right? That is to come. So, guys, welcome in again. Put a thumbs up. Thanks for being here. We have a lot to talk about today. This slate is full, right? Shout out to the jewelers, right? Shout out to the jewelers. They come on as always right after me, and it's not even a day, it's a us, right? For a long time we said that the jewelers are going to own the weekend. The jewelers are going to own Saturday, possibly Sunday too, and that's what we're doing with the 7:30 p.m. Eastern show with the trade, and then the jewelers right after me, Dags and Mega. So we have a lot to talk about today. What are the topics that we are talking about today? We are adding story time, all right, to our lives, to our segment. And this round of story time is the SEC versus Ripple Part 1. What is that story? Why is it important to what's going on in this crypto space? Why is it important to the Jewel and the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem? We are not just going to cover this in this stream. We will be covering this for about, I'd say, 2 months. Okay, we're going to be covering this for about 2 months. So, what is the story and why is it important? We're going to cover a snippet of it today because we have other things to do on this stream. But this is important for the macro aspect of crypto, and it is important. Let me add DFK to the screen. It is important for the overall macro aspect of DeFi Kingdoms, but also to GameFi, DeFi Kingdoms, crypto in general. So, what is that story and why is it important to understand? Today, specifically, we're going to understand incumbents and disruptors. What does that have to do with this whole entire story about the SEC and um, their incompetence, right? So while I go through our itinerary for today, I'm actually going to present the graphic that was made for this story time. All right. Now, little bit of inside information we are going to have over the next 2 months while we go over the SEC versus Ripple story, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and then possibly part 5. We are going to have some special guests. All right, we're going to have some special guests that deal with this litigation or that deals and works in litigation. He may be an intern, okay, and you know I'm not gonna give anything more, right? We may have a special guest that delves into aspects of this story and brings their portion of their knowledge. We're gonna have a couple other people on, but it's important to tell this story. This story is super important to why this Bitcoin ETF was passed, right? So, incumbents versus disruptors, that is the first part of this segment that we're going to get into. Obviously, we're going to get into the charts, right? We have some things happening, right? Bitcoin, AVAX, Jewel. We have a new one on the watch list, and it's not new, but it is one that we are incorporating into our technical analysis, and that is Ethereum. We even had the brown gent. All right. We even had the brown gent request that we start looking at Ethereum. And Ethereum is very important to the story here. As you can see, we have on this graphic Ethereum on the upper right hand side. What does Ethereum have to do with this entire story about the SEC versus the Ripple case and everything else that is going on in the space? But we're always going to do a technical analysis. We have a correction in the market. And so, what do the charts look like? We're going to start with Bitcoin as we always do. We're going to talk about the F around and find out zone, right? We've been tracking Bitcoin at least live from some of my technical analysis since August, and we had a 57% run slated for it. What's been happening in this F around and find out zone? We'll talk about it. We'll talk about, will Jewel hold 25 cents? We did a survey. We're going to tap into that survey and see what is going on. When you're talking about Bitcoin, you're talking about the Bitcoin halving, you're talking about, is there bullishness in the ecosystem? You want to also look at, well, if things are actually going to happen in a positive light, and we're going to get to alt season, which is just craziness, absolute craziness in the market, where the alts, right, after Bitcoin shows some strength and then cools off into a correction in a parabolic bullish market, what happens with the alt seasons? Ethereum is an indicator. Is Ethereum an indicator of alt season? We're going to talk about Clayton and the Orbit hack, but more specifically, we're going to look at the OUSDT chart, okay? Because, yeah, you can look at news, you can sit there and you can wait to see what happens, or you can find some data to track. So I'm a big Jade person. I'm still in the Jade liquidity pools. And so, yeah, we had a security breach that happened with not Clayton, but a partner of Clayton's that they use for stable coin. So we're gonna check the chart, right? We're gonna do a boar hunt, right? I know you guys are here for Defikingdoms primarily. I try to tap into different aspects of blockchain in general, crypto in general, digital assets in general. But hey, you guys are gamers, right? At least a good percentage of my subscribers are gamers. So we're always going to delve into GameFi. But again, everything we cover is going to be macro that leads into some of these awesome, fun digital assets that we like touching base on. And we're going to also look at the trade room picks. I have YPG here. Can anybody guess what YPG is? That is just, one pick, right? There's so many things we can look at, but I have one pick in terms of, what we're looking at in a bullish way. And then we're going to take chart requests from the chat room. So that's going to be the back end. Make sure you're getting those ready. All right. Depending on how much time we have. And we'll look at anything that the room wants to look at. So let's hop into the chat before we dig into the first portion. Okay, the first portion of today's stream, which is a little bit of story time. Grab your milk, grab your cookies, grab your popcorn, grab your Snickers bar. We're gonna tell a story. And it's very, very relevant to the recent Bitcoin ETF approval. And we're going to do all this before we even look at the Bitcoin chart, because it is not just about the charts. It's about the fundamentals. It's about globally what's happening. And then it's about the psychological. So hopping into the chat to see, what we have going on here. We have two noobs. Yay, trade room. What's up? What's up? Nice to see you in here. We have Mega in here. What it do? Sticks Intern says, I'm so here for the stories about the incompetent SEC. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the SEC a little bit. And we're gonna talk about some incompetence here. It's rough when our government is portrayed. Wait, Dax. I that's not what I meant to do. But that's crazy. SEC, if you're listening, I did not say you guys are Nazis. I did. This person here with the PFP of a rainbow unicorn duck, and with the alias Dags is the person saying you're portrayed as Nazis. I'm just artsy, right? We have Mr. Michael Niev with got the milk, missing the cookies. Go find the snack. Go find the snack to go with the milk. It's also about legitimacy. Yeah, can't beat the legitimacy boost of having crypto's number one hater dropping the deciding vote to approve the ETF. That is right. It was Gary Gensler who split that vote, right? The commissioners had to vote. There are five commissioners. Two voted no, two voted yes. And Gary Gensler, with all the political pressure, had to vote yes. Stick says, Dags, I thought they were just wearing a fine Hugo Stylizer. It was a nice trench coat. I didn't want to make the SEC look horrible. I have a trench coat like that. It's really nice. It's when you add the belt and you add the gloves and that's when you start getting to a place. Right out my own golf by a fellow dude. What's up the person? I mean, no, not at all. You know what? You're right, Dax. I'll take the L on this one. XRP is one of the exchange friendly in terms of the transaction speed and reliability. I mean, you guys know how I feel about XRP. I haven't even given XRP a lot of time on these streams. I do that intentionally because we have to tell the story first. We have to tell the story first before we start making XRP an integral part of our technical analysis here. I need to have the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem understand the broader picture before they can really understand the price action technical analysis. So, two noobs, you got a good point. You got a good point there. So, let's get into incumbents versus disruptors. This is story time. We have a lot in front of us for tonight. We have Boar hunts. We have a lot to talk about, but we're gonna get into the conversation about incumbents and disruptors. But before we do that, we're just gonna congratulate ourselves a little bit. We're gonna congratulate ourselves a little bit because we are in a space where we could have been wiped out. We could have been wiped out, and guess what? We were not.
We did it. We made history. We have the SEC approving the first spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund with 11 companies.
All right, I'm not gonna play the whole thing because I don't know how YouTube works with music and everything in the background. I know Twitter is cool with that, but YouTube be weird sometimes, man. Even though this short was made on YouTube, but we got the ETF. Okay, we did it. We did it. Okay, we did it. We did it. We did it. All right. I have a post from 2021 about the ETF and the anticipation towards it from 2 years ago. From 2 years ago, we've been sitting in this space, and it's important to have the conversation about incumbents and disruptors, because when you ask yourself, why is the SEC going so hard, you need to understand the why. If you do not understand the why, you cannot understand the value proposition moving forward for blockchain, crypto, and the tokenization of assets and the tokenization of value, and why BlackRock is so adamant. Okay, the number one asset manager in the world is so adamant, and why Larry Fink is going on the news shitting on the SEC and talking about, no, this technology is where we're going, right? And so let's take a look at what Senator Warren, who is, she's in our government, she really works for us, but no, she doesn't really work for us. She really works for the banks. She works for the incumbents. So we're going to get into a conversation about incumbents and disruptors. But we have Elizabeth Warren saying the SEC is wrong on the law and wrong on the policy with respect to the Bitcoin ETF decision. If the SEC is going to let crypto burrow even deeper into our financial system, then it's more urgent than ever that crypto follow basic anti money laundering rules. Look, Elizabeth Warren, I got no problem with uh, making sure crypto gets more security around it, right? More protections around it. But a lot of what happens in this space are based on algorithms, codes, the lack of a need for an intermediary, right? A counterpart, a counterparty risk. So what she has this war on crypto that is based on nothing, no real facts, right? Money laundering, there's more money laundering done with hard cash than anything. There's more money laundering done with the current system that we are utilizing than anything else. So why is Elizabeth, why does she hate crypto, right? Why did the SEC sue Ripple, right? And what does Ethereum have to do with this entire story? That is what this edition moving forward is about. That is what this 20-25 minutes that we are going to spend on every stream, maybe 25-30 minutes that we're going to spend on every stream, is going to be based on. We have to understand, why is the SEC going so hard? Why is Elizabeth Warren going so hard? Why did Ripple get sued? Why, and how is it the Ethereum Foundation involved in this? How is Joseph Lubin involved in this? How is Andreessen A16 involved in this? How is Vitalik Buterin involved in this, right? And what is this battle between incumbents and disruptors? And why are both sides fighting so hard for each other? So that's the general basis. Going to hop into the chats real quick before we look at the um, Mythic Squad's new tournament that they have out right now. I think I have the tab here. Did I not? Did I not put up the tab here? Oh, how dare you not have the tab here for that? All right, so we'll leave incumbents and disruptors there, but hopping into the chat real quick, we have Sergeant Filthy McNasty listening on the drive. Yo, I heard you guys had a great meetup. Man, I'm itching to come into one of those, but you guys are out in the middle of America, right? Sticks is like, preach, trade room. Yeah, we telling stories here. Incumbents and disruptors. E. Warren is the aegis or agus of incumbency. Ooh, Sticks hitting us with the sophisticated slay there. The SEC is going so hard because the SEC won't let me bore. Won't let me bore. Let me. Oh, so let me see. They try to shut me down on BTC, but it feels so empty without BTC. Dags is on fire tonight. I could tell Dags is going into the Jewelers stream on one. Dags is on one, especially since he got rugged in a couple of his summons. I mean, even Discord wasn't working for Dags. It was hysterical. This is like a job for me. That is correct. Sexy meetup, not gonna lie. Listen, I'm ready for the sexy meetups. You know what I'm saying? Here, ready to hear some fun story. Yeah, two noobs. We're here. We're here for it all, right? So we're talking about incumbents versus disruptors, right? We're seeing how hard the SEC is going. We're seeing how hard Elizabeth Warren is going. And we're just asking ourselves, dude, why are you going so hard, right? Before we delve into that, shout out to Mythic Squad. They have their Mad Boar Hunt tournament coming out. Starts January 22nd, right around the corner. A lot of different sponsorships. This is huge, right? We've done in the trade room, we've done the $13 holla, which was amazing between the trade room and the jewelers. It was an awesome partnership. We took the tools that DFK was giving us and we developed. Right? This ecosystem is not just about what Defikingdoms is developing. It's about what the community is also developing with the technology that Defikingdoms has left us with. Whether you're a third-party developer, whether you're a content creator, whether you're coming in and being a promoter, whether you're coming in from the community like Christian Peter and getting on the team, whether you're somebody like DFK Helper, who is building tools to make life easier, and to manage and to stick to the ethos of what DeFi Kingdoms is offering, which is command your legion, claim your legacy. If you got to manage a 1,000 hero legion, if you have to manage a 300 legion team, I'm sorry, I'm not clicking all day, right? I need something to assist me. And so whether you're using and building your own bots or whether you're using DFK Helper, which 99% of people who are going to be coming into crypto don't really know about trying to set up your own bot, DFK Helper is a great tool. So the Mad Bull Hunt is coming out January 22nd, guys, on Medium. Tap into that for more information. I mean, we were on Beeves and Bloaters today, and these rounds are crazy. I cannot wait to see Sticks Intern go through these rounds. I cannot wait to see people have these limitations and try to get through it. And this is just astounding. The graphics are outstanding. So, the team is only getting better with putting out gameplay and development, and the community is only getting better. And so, shout out to Mythic Squad. Shout out to Sticks Intern. Make sure you go sign up if you think you have the balls to step up. So let's dig into incumbents versus disruptors. Okay, story time. Remember, guys, this is going to be the first 30 minutes of this stream here. Hey, what's up? So if you guys don't know, I'm in New York. All right. I'm in the city. I'm in Brooklyn. I'm using hotel Wi-Fi, and it seems to be working pretty well. If you see a shadowy figure in the back, that is my wife getting ready to go have a grand time. I'm in here streaming. She was like, "Hey, do you want to go and have a good time in the city?" I said, I have a stream. I have a macro Saturday." Right. So you guys right now are more important than my wife. Don't tell her I said that. And she probably just heard me. But let's hop into incumbents versus disruptors, right? Incumbents versus disruptors. We have two noobs saying SEC makes us aware of the cybersecurity practices more and more. SEC, they forgot to put on the two-factor authentication on Twitter. I mean, I'm in tech. So when you go to work the next day, we're saying, "Oh my gosh, did you hear what happened? The SEC forgot to turn on its two-factor authentication and their Twitter got hacked." And oh, slap on the leg. This is hilarious. How can you be putting out tweets talking about watch out for crypto, watch out for scammers, crypto is a security risk, make sure you put the proper passwords in and permissions in, and you get your Twitter hacked? Okay, well, now the FBI is looking into it. Let's see if they give us any information. All right. But again, incumbents and disruptors. What are incumbents? What are disruptors? Okay. Incumbents, traditional enterprise software companies face intensifying competition, but they can rein their edge in. Look, I'm not going to spend too much time. Incumbents are those who are already there. Okay. Let's go directly to the banking system. They are already here. They use a certain network and protocol. Disruptors are those who come in who disrupt the technology, right? They have a competing technology. They may have a competing technology in the industry or the sector that the incumbents are in. When you talk about, when we used to use horses for everything, and then the automobile came out, the people who utilized the horses or maybe had a larger market share in the horse industry were very upset about the disruptors, and they had to put up all their offense to blockade the disruptors who are the automobiles, right? And so the incumbents are those who were there before, who have an incentive to protect themselves. And if I had to destroy the disruptors, I will destroy them because I want to maintain my market share. I want to maintain my dominance, right? And so what are some disruptors that we've had in our history, right? The 85 most disruptive ideas in our history. And we're going to head to the top ones, but, you have stuff like Starbucks, YouTube, information technology, IT, literally. And IT is literally only 62 on this list, which lets you know that in the human lifespan, the Homo sapien lifespan, we've had a lot of different disruptive things. But I believe I saw Twitter, now X, on this list. We have email. Email is 47 on this list. Air Jordans is higher than IT. Yeah, okay. But yeah, I thought I saw Twitter here, but Twitter was like 30 something. But we're gonna scroll down here. The number one disruptor was the jet engine. I could see that. To be able to get humans across the entire globe and cut that rate of travel by, I don't know, I think it was like 5,000%, maybe even more than that, was crazy. Microchips, number two. Green Revolution. Walmart, number four. My goodness. TV, number five. Google, number six. These are some incumbents. And when you're an incumbent, these are disruptors. When you're a disruptor, the incumbents are going to fight you, So Google got sued a couple times, okay, by the SEC. And keep this in mind, right? The Manhattan Project, Apple is number 10. Apple, see, we're seeing a lot of technology, okay, in the top echelon of these disruptors. Oh my gosh, Al Qaeda, yeah, 9/11, GPS, okay, McDonald's, credit, Amazon. These are all disruptors, and Amazon also had to go through multiple litigation cases with the SEC. DNA sequencing, the AK-47. Oh my gosh, the 401k. These are all disruptors, right? And when you have these disruptors come in, you're going to have the incumbents fighting them off. Okay. Facebook. Okay. I'm just scrolling down this list. And yeah, I swear Twitter was here, but my eye, YouTube, right? What are we streaming through right now? YouTube and X, all right, which was what? Twitter. So that's just to give you guys a retrospect of some of these disruptors that have come about. And these disruptors, especially if the incumbents have a lot of connections with government, okay, if these incumbents have a lot of connections in government, they're gonna send these motherfuckers at you. Okay, it is what it is. That's just how it is. If I'm the incumbent, if I'm in power and I see you disrupting me, I'm going to send everything at you. And if I'm an incumbent that's been able to ingratiate myself into the government, I'm going to send the government at you. It is what it is, right? Ain't no fair ones. That's what we like to say. Ain't no fair ones when I'm the one that has the leverage and the power. So, I hope I was able to kind of break that down. 71 Mookie, thanks for coming in. We have Mr. Michael saying SEC Ripple DeFi wife. Yeah, I love my wife, man. She's the best. She knows I'm joking, right? So yeah, incumbents versus disruptors. So now we're seeing some of these disruptors, right? And it wasn't easy for them to disrupt. And even someone like Elon Musk was sued by the SEC on fraud charges. It wasn't nothing relevant. Okay. SEC was just trying to find a way to slow Tesla down. All right. Slow Elon Musk down and find a way to say, hey, this electric vehicle thing that's happening, it didn't come from the government. It came from somebody who is running a private company. Is this person who's running a private company going to end up monopolizing the transportation industry? Hold the fuck on. Let's slow this guy down while we figure out how we can get our incumbents, Ford, our incumbents, GM, into this EV industry. And they fought Elon before, they're fighting Elon now, right? And so remember, incumbents, when they feel that they are being pressured, when they feel that their industry is being disrupted, they have to do something and they have the resource to do something. So enter 2020. Enter December of 2020. Understanding what it is between incumbents and disruptors, we then asked ourselves, why is Elizabeth Warren going so hard? Why is the SEC going so hard? Not only just at crypto and blockchain, but also are they going so hard? Why did they shoot at Ripple Labs? Ripple Labs is one company or one entity out of 30 to 50 to 100 entities that are using the XRP ledger to build applications. XRP ledger is a decentralized, open sourced blockchain technology that uses distributed ledger that is a distributed ledger technology that uses a specific consensus algorithm to create settlement and other things. Why is the SEC going so hard at the one out of a bunch of companies, the biggest company that is using this open source technology to build financial products for the people that they do business with? Ripple is just a company that uses the XRP ledger to build fintech products for companies that are looking for better ways to facilitate their funds and their values. Why does the SEC December 22nd of 2020 drop a lawsuit against Ripple Labs, and then the very next day the head of the SEC and a handful of other SEC enforcement employees leave the SEC the very next day or within about 2 to 4 weeks after that? Why? And we are here to answer that question to the best of our ability with all the evidence that we have seen within this last 3 years that this court case has been going on. That is the story that we're telling, the story of incumbents and disruptors and what happens when you are a disruptor coming into an industry that sees you as a threat. That is the story that we're telling. Okay. And so we're not going to dive into the specifics of the SEC charging Ripple, but they charged the two executives with conducting $1.3 billion in unregistered securities in order to try to label the number 3 cryptocurrency in the world a security. They charged them with conducting unregistered security offerings, which isn't even a criminal attempt, right? It's not even a criminal charge. There's actually no charge of crime. The headline looks like it might be a charge of crime, but there's actually no charge of crime, right? And so why did the SEC go this route? They went this route in order to try to then on the back end label a very large market cap, the number 3 market cap cryptocurrency, label it as a security, and if we can get them, we can get everybody. Now they've sued other people, even like Library, right? Library, they sued, and Library did not have the war chest. Library did not have $200 million and counting to fight the SEC on this. And so the question is why? And we are only exploring the definition between incumbents and disruptors. But guess what? After 3 years, a New York federal judge declared that XRP is not a security. All right. The judge made a determination on multiple factors, and the only factor that is left hanging. The only reason why we're still here and the only factor that is left hanging is institutional sales. That's the only thing the judge said could be sent over now to trial to see if institutional sales were securities. And even that, there's a Ripple has some strength with that because those institutional sales were algorithmic. I think I'm saying it right, were algorithmic sales that weren't like, hey, I'm going to sell to you if you do this. No, they're based on an algorithm. And what is the entire cryptocurrency space based on? Algorithms and codes. So we're going to dive into that on the next few streams. But again, after 3 years, a New York federal judge deemed that XRP is not a security. So why are the incumbents so scared? And that's what we're going to finish up this on. Why are the incumbents so scared? We're finishing part 1 here. Okay, we're finishing part 1 here. Why are the incumbents so scared? And we're going to hop into the chat here. Warren is going hard because she's owned by the central banks. That's one way to put it. Yeah, leave a like, if you're here for the first time, subscribe, put your alerts on, right? Because when I hop on, it'll alert you. I don't mind when you end up hopping in here, but put your alerts on. I'll put my alerts on the jewelers, on Sergeant Filthy McNasty, on Sticks Intern. So okay, so why are the incumbents so nervous? Why are they going so hard? Why are they so scared? Why did they sue Ripple? And we're going to jump into that. How is Ethereum and the Ethereum Foundation related to this entire story, right? How is the SEC showing its incompetence within this entire story? Well, let's talk about how the incumbents work, what system the incumbents are using, right? Because if the incumbents are scared about this blockchain, at the end of the day is what are we doing that's better than the incumbents to have them so scared, right? At the end of the day, we have to answer. I love asking why. If you're not asking why, then what are you doing when it comes to anything? So why are the incumbents so scared? Well, what system do the incumbents use? The incumbents use a T+1, T+2, T+3 system. Okay. Well, what sector is the incumbents in? Well, the incumbents currently are the banking system. The banking system globally works with payments, right? Payments and settlement, right? That's just one sector. Okay. Payments and settlements. That's the banks. JP Morgan, you have Swift. Those are the banks, right? Crypto is in a lot of spaces, but we're talking about the banks right now because the banks are utilizing the SEC and utilizing Elizabeth Warren to try to slow these disruptors down. And so, well, when you go to your bank and you make a payment, to your rent or your credit card, it doesn't settle right away. It's a T+1, T+2, T+3 system, which means transaction, the transaction date, the date the transaction happens on, and then when does the actual transaction settle, right? So when you pay your credit card bill, or when you try to, send money from the U.S. to Mexico, or however you're moving with money, you'll notice sometimes that, hey, I tried to make this transaction on Friday. Why did it take me till Wednesday for me to actually see the money, right? Or, hey, I tried to move some money on Tuesday. Why are you telling me 1 to 3 days? That's because when you make these movements, the counterparty is the one who is trying to settle this for you, and they can't promise the same day. You may see money be sent, or you may see you make a payment and you think it's been done, but it takes time to settle with the counterparty or the offering house. And so this is why you see sometimes that there's lags. And listen, Dag said it right. T+3 sucks when you're just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And hey, guess what? This particular week, it just took an extra 3-4 days, right? That's the system they run on. Okay. Let's move on to the next thing. Well, what is this system? The system also uses the ACH network. emphasis on network. On a given day, the ACH network is busy working in the background. It's making sure your mortgage and utility payment gets paid by direct payment. That's ACH debits on and your pay and tax refunds arrive by direct deposit, ACH credits. Okay. And so with the ACH system, the biggest thing that we want to look at is settlement timing. And with ACH system using the network, it uses the NACHA. Okay. The NACHA rules. Okay. And the NACHA rules estimates 80% of payments settle in one banking day or less. That's funny. That's not what the experience feels like, right? The experience sometimes feels like 3-4 days. And oh my gosh, if you're trying to send money from one country to the next, not only are they charging you an arm and a leg, but it may take 7 to 10 days for that payment to get there. So what the NACHA rules? The NACHA rules are based on the ACH network. Okay, so the incumbents are using a particular network to facilitate these payments, and they're promising T+1, T+2, T+3, T plus however damn long it takes. Okay, so again, why are they so nervous? Why are they going so hard to protect their grounds? Well, what kind of system do we use in blockchain? In blockchain, if I send something from one spot to the next, it is final. It is final. If I send 2 AVAX, 2 Joule from one end to the other, it is final. It has been sent and it settles at where you are sending it to. That is instant settlement. Okay. And so why do I focus on XRP? Because it is one of the best in the blockchain space at settlement, amongst other things. Okay. The XRP ledger is one thing, and XRP is the token, right? The currency token, the bridge token within the XRP ecosystem, the primary token in the XRP ledger. And so we have a most recent article. The US Federal Reserve receives multiple recommendations for XRP for instant settlements in CBDC questionnaire. Now, I don't care how you feel, what you think about CBDCs, but I place this here because even in a general a questionnaire of, well, hey, what is the best thing to use if the government is thinking about doing CBDCs for settlement? Oh, most of the public says XRP. So if these surveys are done within other ecosystems that need settlements, that need a technology that can provide settlements, even if it's not the government, if it's anybody else that wants to create a ecosystem of settlement, what is the general psychological thought process of what should be used? The general psychological public thought process is XRP. Why is XRP the general consensus thought process to be used for settlement? It is because of the consensus principles and rules. The XRP ledger is a universal payment system enabling users to transfer funds across national boundaries seamlessly, as seamlessly as sending an email. Remember when we looked at this at the disruptors? Email was one of the disruptors. Like other peer-to-peer payment networks such as Bitcoin, the XRP ledger enables peer-to-peer transaction settlement across a decentralized network of computers. Unlike other digital currency protocols, the XRP ledger allows users to denominate their transactions within any currency they prefer, including fiat currencies, digital currencies, and other forms of value, and XRP, the native asset of the XRP ledger. Any currency. Okay. The XRP ledger's technology enables near real-time settlement, 3 to 6 seconds, and contains a decentralized exchange where payments automatically use the cheapest currency trade orders available to bridge currencies. I'm going to stop there. Okay. This is not a lesson on how XRP works, but I just want to give you guys, when you ask yourself the why go after Ripple? Why? Why choose the number 3 blockchain that didn't even do an IC? Why? It's because it is projected to disrupt your incumbent ecosystem. It is slated as one of the best to disrupt your entire incumbent ecosystem. So you got to shoot at the incumbent, you got to shoot at the disruptive giant. And if you're going to shoot, you got to shoot big. And so when we talk about the system that the incumbents are using compared to the system that the disruptor is using, this is why Ripple was sued. Ripple was not sued because of fraud. Ripple was not sued because of anything else other than the incumbents had to find a way to protect themselves. And it has come out in court after 3 years, after 3 long years, that XRP is not a security, that Ripple wasn't really doing anything wrong other than trying to swim through a regulatory space that was intentionally muddied, that was intentionally obtuse, that was intentionally let be run wild. One, because they didn't see it coming. Two, because it wasn't Bitcoin. It wasn't Ethereum. And we'll talk about this, but I hope this little segment was able to give you a little bit of info about incumbents, disruptors, and this storytelling that we're doing about why do we think that Ripple Labs was targeted in this massive lawsuit from the SEC that they're losing badly. And yes, Dags, Coinbase is T+5. Horrible. But it's not Coinbase. It is the banking system, JP Morgan and others, that Coinbase is working with, once you do what you have to do to then get your funds into your banking system. Don't forget holidays. That is right. When I went to buy my second Gen Zero, I was geo-blocked by my bank, so I had to go through Coinbase to buy AVAX. What was a business week plus a holiday? Thought I was going to lose it. Seriously, so messed up. The whole system is messed up. But that is when you ask yourself, why are they going so hard? That's what you have to remember, is that incumbents are working very hard to protect themselves. Incumbents are working very hard to protect themselves. So this is the part 1. Remember, we have some special guests coming in to talk about certain parts. After we finish this 4 or 5 part series, it is about the incumbents and disruptors, and we're going to tell the whole story, but we wanted to give 30 minutes or so to that. And so gonna tap into the comments really quickly before we move on, but that is part 1 of the storytelling. We have a whole lot more to tell, and if you look at this tab that we have here, this tab kind of gives a little bit of insight, right? This tab gives a little bit of insight as to the story here, where we have Ripple. Then we have on the bottom left, we have retail investors who, when the court case dropped, decided to hop into the court case. We'll talk about that next week. You have the Ethereum Foundation. You have Joseph Lubin. You have Andreessen Horowitz and some of the law firms that represented Ethereum and what they did to get ahead of the game. You have all of that, and you just have me in the middle, telling that story of how we got where we are today and how the regular underdog, the people, I love underdogs, the regular underdog, the people had to fight and fight and fight and fight to get to where we are today, which is still thick in legal battles with a regulator. So that's the story there. We're gonna jump into market conditions, but I'm gonna hop into the chat to see what we have going on there before we move on. We went longer than 30 minutes, but when you're storytelling, man, you just gotta give it the time. So that's our first hour. Our second hour will be spent in the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem in the charts. But to wrap this up, we have Dax saying, we have Worm saying, I agree, Dax. I put mine into Coinbase a week ago and I had to wait a week plus holidays. I was so effing angry. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, man. I'm telling you. The incumbents are very nervous. And just to wrap this up, the Bitcoin ETF, historically, why is this so important? Historically, it's so important because this is the first time that a settlement type asset has been integrated with a T plus 1 plus 3 plus 5 ecosystem. This is why the incumbents are nervous. When a instant settlement type ecosystem, algorithm, consensus, technology gets now implanted Bitcoin into a T plus ecosystem. They did not want that. And Gary Gensler had his hand forced. And that is the inception, the legitimacy of the blockchain ecosystem. And wow, what is to come next if they have been forced to include this more sophisticated, or I want to say more sophisticated because their system is a web. But what happens for the next 10 years now that you have incepted a instant settlement ecosystem into an ETF? So you basically wrapped Bitcoin into a T plus system. So we'll see how that pans out. But we are going to make a shift. We are going to make a shift into the charts. Let me see if I have anything else here. Let's shift into the charts. We are making a change. And let me just get everything prepped here. And sorry about that. I'm just going to clear my screen a bit here because I have a lot of tabs here. Okay, wonderful. All right. So we always look macro. This is a macro channel. Okay. We're going to really run through these charts. But this is a macro channel, so we always have to look at Bitcoin, and then we trickle down to other things. So we're going to start with Bitcoin. All right. And in looking at Bitcoin, we're going to talk what we've been looking at Bitcoin macro-wise. What we're going to do is we're going to look at Bitcoin, AVAX, Joule, Ethereum, and OUSD. It's important to look at OUSD because of the hack, right? You can wait on news or you can find certain data to look at. But we're going to, we're going to look at Bitcoin to start off with. I'm going to try to run through these. We've been looking at Bitcoin for a long time. We've been looking at this macro pattern here, this low here at about 15,000. This channel that Bitcoin's been following here. We congratulated ourselves last week because from the August 2023 date, where on this channel we projected a 153 day 57% run from Bitcoin, we got that, right? But if you want to see the technical analysis on this, you can. And in some of my previous streams, the biggest thing to highlight with Bitcoin is, in a macro sense, we are super bullish. In a macro sense, we are super bullish. The one thing that I want to highlight as to why we are super bullish, with these Bollinger Bands, you have this middle line here, which this is the 200-week moving average on the monthly chart. The 200-week moving average has been in a downtrend since let me see, since July of 2022. It started this downtrend since the July of 2022, and it's been in a downtrend ever since. The interesting that thing that we're seeing here is that the 200 moving average has now bounced off of 25,900. That is super important, super bullish. Previously, when we were tracking this channel, remember in our August date on this channel, we got a deviation and a downtrend from this, and we said that $25,900 would be a solid support area. Since then, we've had about a 90% run from Bitcoin. It is super, super important to see this 200-week moving average here bounce off of this. Macro, super bullish. However, when we go to the lower time frames, we have some traffic happening here. And what we said, while we said that, hey, congratulations, we have hit this, I mean, to a T, 147-day, 57% run here. We labeled this as the F around and find out zone, this yellow area. We tested this F around and find out zone. We broke above this F around and find out zone, and we have had a magnanimous rejection from this F around and find out zone. It went as low as a 15% correction. We currently sit at a 12% correction. And this is bearish divergence here where price was going up, but RSI was going down. And that's basically what's happening here with Bitcoin. So macro, 8 months, we are bullish. 8 to 12 months, we are bullish. Micro, when you start to dig in, we need to cool off here. Okay, we had this bearish divergence here. We're cooling off here. I personally think that 41,000 is a very, 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 very strong possible support area. That's where we have this green bar here. But I'm not even going to sweat at all if we break below and get into this range here. 39,000 is the ultimate support that I have here. But I don't think that we go down to this 39,000 area. I think we have really good, strong support here between 41,000 and 40,000 here. And basically what this is going to do is it's going to give us some time for the weekly here to cool off. It's going to give us some time for the weekly chart here to cool off. Let me just erase this here. I'm kind of all over the place here now. Give some time for this weekly chart here to cool off and to find a base. And once we find a base, what is happening here? And it might take like a month. It might take like 3 weeks. It might take like 5-6 weeks here. Because we've been hot. We've been hot for a while now. The Bitcoin ETF, all that news. But we have the Bitcoin halving coming up in March, I believe. April. The Bitcoin halving coming in April. So if we're looking at RSI, all we're looking for here is that, look, the weekly RSI still needs to cool off. The weekly RSI can come back down here to about a 50 RSI at the worst, and then find a way to wiggle itself out of here on the weekly. And guess what? It puts us right around that April area. But I do expect the price action here to start moving. Okay. Once this weekly cools off a little bit. So it's just great dollar cost averaging time. This weekly mid Bollinger, which is the weekly 200-week moving average here, could possibly come meet the price, and that is a great sign for us. Once we clear that out, we're definitely, I think, this is not financial advice. I think we have another test back at these 47,000 area. I think 52,000 is in store as an impulse. And then from there, we're looking to retest the all-time highs here at $65,000. But when it comes to alt season, a Bitcoin cool down leaves room for the alt season to start preparing itself. And then once we start seeing some strength in Bitcoin, that's going to give us really nice aggressive price action. And when we talk about alt season, we want to take a look at Ethereum within that conversation about alt season. And Ethereum could be a great indicator. Okay. Ethereum could be a great indicator of the start of alt season. Now, I want to find the proper Ethereum chart here. I can't believe I'm not locating the proper Ethereum chart. Okay, I think this is it. So with Ethereum, Ethereum looks really bullish. Okay, remember we're telling a story here about incumbents and disruptors. We're gonna tell the story of Ethereum. I have a bias, full disclosure, on Ethereum, but not on the technology. I love the technology. I love what it's been able to do. I love what it's been able to prove. But there's a lot of shadiness with the Ethereum foundation, and we'll tell the story about that. But all in all, Ethereum has followed the same rules as Bitcoin. It didn't go below its previous all-time high here of $1,100. It's bounced off of this here, and man, if Ethereum makes this run to 3,600, that's going to leave room for alt season to start revving its engine. But really, Ethereum has a battle here at 4,000, about 500, 4,600 at its all-time high. I do see Ethereum making that move there. And really, if Ethereum has a full breakout, which Bitcoin is giving us an indication that money will start to flow into Ethereum, and that's just normally how it is. Ethereum could have a 393% run ahead of it to about $12,600. And man, in that area, we'll see a full blown out all season. So Ethereum looks bullish. Ethereum looks very bullish. We are going to track it for this run. We're looking for a 42% run from where Ethereum is at currently to about $3,700. From this cool down that we're expecting, we could see Ethereum cool down, come back and test this $2,000 area. I don't think it goes that low, but again, it is sitting at the top of the Bollinger Band, looking pretty strong. So what are we looking at possibly for a correction for Ethereum? Well, it's already been correcting, right? It's already done about 8%. We could quite honestly see a 20% correction from Ethereum, even as low as a 25% correction from Ethereum before we work on our upside. So that's something that we're going to keep an eye out on. But Ethereum is an indicator of alt season, so we're going to look at that. We shift over to AVAX. AVAX looks very, very strong. We had this impulse here that went up as high as about, I think it was like 500%, and a $51 price for AVAX. It's blocked. It's blocked for now. You can get across the next 2 minutes because I'm doing technical analysis. My camera is not on. It's not on. Okay. Yes, I'm sure my camera is not on. My camera's not on. So get out. It's not on. So Ethereum is really bullish. We move on to AVAX. AVAX looks really bullish. And I'm gonna just hop into the chat before I move on with this. Let's see. I probably shouldn't look forward to money that isn't controlled by my home country, though. Hey, listen, Dax. It's Thanks for the clarification, guys. She's just getting ready to go do her outing. And I'm just clarifying that the camera is not on while I go through the technical analysis. So we have about 15 minutes left in the technical analysis. So you're good. You can get your preparations on. So we have AVAX, right? So we say Bitcoin looks really bullish. We have some turbulence ahead of us for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Ethereum looks really bullish. Ethereum could be an indicator of alt season, but it may have a correction to go through as well. AVAX looks really bullish, right? But we're at the top of the Bollinger Band for AVAX here. It possibly also needs to cool off over this next period here. And in looking at AVAX, when we look at the daily chart for AVAX, yes, AVAX has got a chance to cool off here. We have some higher highs in RSI. Previously we said that the $35 area is a gray area where if I was looking to accumulate AVAX, not financial advice, it's a place where it could be accumulated at, but don't be surprised if we get a cool off to $28. But quite honestly, 35 is a place if I Did not have my hands on AVAX at all to possibly look to do that. We have this 200-week moving average on the weekly still here at $21, and $21 is our bull market support area. We did have a breakout of that, but again, don't be surprised if some sort of black swan random weird thing happens and AVAX corrects down to $21 to retest the bull market support area. But I'm a doubter of that. However, we do have this weekly here that needs to cool off. So I could see $28, but the range between $28 and $35 is an accumulation area, and we're seeing a weekly candle here that may finish in green in a doji. So that's that. XRP we're going to look at in future. We're going to look at in future streams. Still very highly bullish on XRP. And I'm sorry to go back and forth. Just to wrap up the AVAX one, macro wise, when AVAX finishes this correction, we're seeing $60 as a phase, $90 as a phase, and then a retesting of those all-time highs at 141. All in all, we are looking at this 2,500% run from when we first started tracking AVAX. This has AVAX sitting at $223. And that is just a retrace of Fibonacci retrace, right? Once we have that, we're going to start looking at possible other price actions depending on what we're seeing after this next correction, what Bitcoin does, what Ethereum does. But that overall leads us to the Jewel ecosystem, the Defikingdoms ecosystem. We're going to hop into the chats here really quickly before we do that. And we have Mr. Michael Nief saying SEC won, wife won. Yeah, it's the tie. She won this one. She's getting some time to do what she has to do. So that is the Bitcoin, Ethereum, AVAX, right? The trickling effect. You have to start at Bitcoin. We have to work our way down. That leads us, we talked about the F around and find out zone. It could be a very, very, very volatile zone. People that were buying because of the Bitcoin ETF hype, right? If you're only buying within the last 2 to 4 weeks because of the Bitcoin Ethereum ETF hype, you are looking at this 12% correction. You're very nervous. You're probably maybe even selling right now because you're not having a grasp of what's going on. So after looking at the higher market cap ecosystems, we then did a poll on Twitter, okay, or X, where we said, hey, will Jewel hold the 25-cent region as support, or will it go to zero, right? It was yes, no, or zero. We had 73 votes. I would have loved to have 100 votes, just as 100 plus. That's kind of what you want at looking at any kind of sentiment. But we have 60% saying yes, 26% saying no, and 13.7% saying going to zero. So I like to do these polls to kind of have a gauge on sentiment. And sentiment is that it will hold. Now, do I have people that follow my channel that kind of know some of the technical analysis that we've been doing? Yes. But we're going to keep running these polls and we're going to see how these polls look. But let's dig right into Jewel, right? If we have an inference of what's happening with Bitcoin, what we're expecting, how we're looking, if AVAX market cap and AVAX price action movement determines the price action and the kind of volume that flows into Jewel, what does Jewel look like, right? We tracked this Jewel price action from its entire history. We see this run to 34 cents. That has a baseline of about 29 cents and has real support at 25 cents. We saw a breakdown. We had a lot of patterns that we were looking at here, but we had our head and shoulders, and we had this bullish divergence that we were seeing on the 3-day chart. We had this impulse to 75 cents, even as high as 78 cents, which is about a 700% run. We have this correction here, which is about a 65% correction. It is normal to have a 50 to a 65 per correction, even when you are a bullish chart. We're looking at the weekly chart right now, where every candle is a week, and we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of bearish price action. We said that we could be forming what? We could be forming a bigger cup and handle, and the handle needs some time to formulate, right? We're tracking this cup and handle, which we look at macro things, we look at macro patterns, and we are in the midst of the handle. Okay. And so when do we get some relief from this downwards trend of the handle? We have our first weekly candle here. And this weekly candle price action for Jewel went as low as 22 cents. Okay. And so when we say is 25 cents going to hold, we don't mean that, hey, there's no chance that it goes below 25 cents. 25 cents, just like how with AVAX, the bull market confirmation is $21. Just like how with Bitcoin, the bull market confirmation is about, if we cross that F around and find out zone, with Jewel, we're seeing this cup and handle. We're seeing it form out. It's a very powerful, healthy handle. And we're looking to see, do we have any indication that we are going to find 25 cents as a support? If we go into the smaller time frames, we can tell more what is happening. All right. The support that we have here is between 25 cents and 29 cents. Okay. We went low. We went as low as 22 cents. We have these 3-day candles where every candle is 3 days. We have 1, 2, 3, which is now what, 369, 9 days. Okay, 3 days each. We have 9 days of price action where we are trying to make a higher low. All right, what is important to understand here is that we are still looking at this bullish divergence that we were tracking here since when? This bullish divergence we started tracking August of 2023. The same August of 2023 that we were tracking with Bitcoin, for it to make its 147-day 57% price action. And so we're still following this, even though we've looked at multiple patterns. Why is this important? This is important because with this divergence that we're looking at here, we had a great impulse, and now we're having what? A possible retest of what? A possible retest of this trend line in order to then what? In order to then make a bounce from it, to have that bounce correlate with what? This possible support to make a move to 45 cents while breaking through 33 cents. And so, yes, this could be that support area. Does it mean that Jewel cannot go any lower? Yes, we can have Jewel do what? Normally, if you're going to find this support here at the lowest wick, right, of 22 cents, normally you could have what is called a back test, right? And so we're going to draw a horizontal line here. Normally, you may get what we call a back test. So when you're trying to find something as support, I love seeing this positive price action here. But what? Because we know Bitcoin has a correction in store, because we know AVAX possibly has a correction in store, we could get a back test to get a double bottom here before we do what? Before we move our movement. So can 25 hold as support? The answer to me is yes. 25 can, and to me will hold as support, not financial advice. What could happen is a bounce from here back to 22 cents, break out of the 25 cents, hit 29 cents, back test to 25 cents, and then start making your way and have more positive price action. And this could take the next 2 to 4 weeks to play out. So that's what we're looking at for Jewel. We've been tracking this cup and handle. We see that this cup and handle is not going to be a perfect formation. We're looking to go back to retest that 75-cent area. And once we finish this formation of this cup and handle, we could be looking at massive price action. When we look at this weekly chart, it gives a bigger view of this cup and handle and this RSI that we're looking at here. And this mid Bollinger here, right? Again, mid Bollinger is the 200-week moving average. I would love to see that mid Bollinger meet what? Meet the price action. And that's what could bring us to a 22-cent jewel to retest. Because by the time it starts coming back down, the mid Bollinger would have caught up. And then we get a nice bounce here between the mid Bollinger and the price action. Overall, once we make our way out of there, right, we've already had 75, 78 cents. We're looking to test 94 cents, and we are looking to test 130 cents. That overall macro sort of outlook, what kind of percentage points are we away from there? We are, from testing this next macro impulse, we are 419% away from there as jewels. So that's the next macro place we're going to after we work our way out of this cup and handle. So that's my analysis of Joel, right? Still bullish, but because we look at Bitcoin, because we look at Ethereum, we do think what all season may be right around the corner, but we do still have some sluggish corrections to go through before we start seeing really big, impulsive, positive price action from the Defikingdoms Jewel ecosystem. We need to look at AVAX. We need to look at Ethereum. We need to look at Bitcoin to be indicators of what we have there. So Sergeant Flippy Nancy says alt season when? All season as Bitcoin makes this correction and works its way out of there. As AVAX makes its correction, looking very strong, and works its way out of there. Once we start seeing positive price action there, we should start seeing some of that liquidity to vote. That's some of that liquidity to flow into Jewel as Jewel does what? As Jewel completes this cup and handle. We have Dax saying 100 votes. That's proper scientific method. Yeah. I wonder who voted for Jewel. I wonder who voted and said Jewel is going to 0. That's the hilarious thing, right? Sticks says agree with Dax. I voted no to try to counteract the bias. Yes, thank you, Sticks. Just vote no to be opposite. I know some of that 26% was from people just voting no just to be opposite. So yes, Ethereum is the indicator of all season. Yes, we do believe that Jewel is going to hold 25 cents. However, it can still go back to retest 22 cents as we understand that Bitcoin is still having to go through some sluggish price action after going to do what? After going to test the F around and find out zone. So the last chart we're going to look at, and remember at the end of the stream, we still have about 40 minutes left in this stream. Go ahead and put a thumbs up if you haven't yet. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't yet. Go ahead and follow my Twitter if you haven't yet. We are running some awesome giveaways on Twitter. It is the Trade Room. Room is spelled with 2 numerical zeros. If you don't put that, you're not going to find me. So we're going to look at Clayton Orbit Hack. All right. We're going to look at a chart that I've actually found on OUSDT, right? We know that the hack happened and we can just sit there and wait for more news, or we can do what? Or we can try to find some sort of data point to follow. And so this chart is not even on Dex Screener anymore. So I had to go find it. I found it at Getco Terminal. And basically, I am not touching anything that I have in Sarandale. We need to see how this stablecoin OUSDT plays out. But when you have charts, you have more data than somebody who's what? Somebody who's waiting for news has. And so we are not getting any news from Clayton. We are not getting any news from Orbit on what they're doing. But what we are seeing is the price action that's happening since the DPEG. All right, since the DPEG, we went as low as what? We went as low as 47 cents. Okay, and from that 47 cent area, we have bearish price action. But what do we always look at? We look at RSI, and we see RSI climbing slowly, right? From where we were at a 4 RSI, we see RSI climbing slowly while price goes down. If you guys have been following me on this page, you know what is that called? That is called bullish divergence. Bullish divergence. Now, is it completely bullish? No, because we have to see what happens when. What happens when Bitcoin goes through its correction? What happens when AVAX? What happens when Ethereum goes through its correction? Well, we can make an inference. We can make an inference that what could happen is that when Bitcoin goes through its correction, we could have what? From where we are right now, at 58 cents, but we need to be at a dollar peg, we could have a 10% correction to this baseline here at 52 cents. But it could be what? It could be a back test with the market overall showing some weakness before we finish out this bullish divergence that we're seeing here. So this is something that we're going to continue to track, but I'm very intrigued by this because this bullish divergence here we must look at. We have the MACD, right? Which when you go in the bearish trend, as you see the red go into a lighter red and it dwindles down here, and we have the stochastic here also moving upwards, it means that there is volume coming back. All right, there's market confidence coming back. They have not put out any announcements, right? We have not heard anything, but what we can tell, let me exit out of here. What we can tell is that on the daily chart, we're having some sort of positive RSI action. Meanwhile, we have price coming down. So it could be an indicator of some bullish repegging. And if we're going to have Clayton, if you're going to have USD repeg, that is going to be positive for not only Jade, but more confidence in the Serendale 2.0 ecosystem. So overall, even if we do get a correction back down to this 52 cent area, it'll still be a higher low. It'll still continue this positive RSI action here. And we're looking to come and test what? We're looking to see OUSDT at around 68 cents. That'll give us more confidence of what is happening. And at 68 cents, we're looking to work through that and get back to repegging at what? Get back to repegging at 99 cents a dollar. So this next 4 weeks is going to be very interesting, but that is what we're looking at with what's happening in Serendale 2.0. Crystal Vale, we're there, we're chilling, we're having a good time. There's a lot more transactions happening on Crystal Vale, but this is what we're tracking. All right, we don't need news. We don't need an update from the Defikingdoms ecosystem. They told us in the AMA they're just waiting. But what we can do is look at the charts, look at data, look at what we're seeing in the ecosystem that we have questions in to help give us better confidence in what we may think may be going on. So, guys, that's it for the charts today. Keep in mind that I have my trade room pick. Okay. But I'm also going to be taking chart requests as well from the chat. So if you have any chart requests, make sure that you start throwing that in there. What we are going to do is I am going to do one of my Boar hunts. All right. Because, this is GameFi. This is crypto gaming. But, on my channel, I try to bring something else. I try to bring other value. So just so that my wife knows, we are going back to being on camera. Wendy, we're going back to being on camera. So just giving you a heads up on that. But yeah, we're gonna do a board hunt, and then we're gonna look at the trade pick. Right? What is one of the things that I'm looking at? What is one of the things that I'm picking as one of the most bullish things that I am looking at? But before that, we're gonna go and we're gonna do a board hunt. All right, I've been getting some good loot in this board hunt. I'm continuing to play this board hunt. We know that we have another board hunt coming another board upcoming. It's gonna be a what? It's gonna be a BYOP. Bring your own potion. And I think it's gonna be fun as hell, right? So guys, make sure if you have any chart requests, you throw it in there. Um, I'll log it down and we will track it once I finish this boar hunt. Hopefully, I get some good loot, right? Hopefully, I get some good loot. We have Six Intern in the building saying, I'm launching a meme called D's. Could you chart it? Yeah, I could chart it. Yeah, I could chart it. I'm actually going to chart the new token that's been put out in the ecosystem. I'm going to end up charting bloat, right? Bloat was actually created by a DFK um, community member, and it's actually was launched on the AVAX blockchain, right? We have the bloater that's in game, but now we have the bloat token in out of game in the AVAX ecosystem, and it's actually doing a lot of bullish things. So we'll talk about that, right? So we have my pick, and then we have the bloat to talk about. But again, if you have anything you'd like to look at, make sure to throw it in the chat. What a legend, totally unfazed. I mean, look, we've been there, we've done that, right? A lot of shade on this one because people are saying it's taking money from DFK to a meme. Give me a break, guys. Yeah, I mean, look, we want DFK to be permeated in other places. Okay, it's okay. Listen, guys, I don't think anyone. Okay, let me not say that. If you've been in multiple parabolic bull markets, you want the ecosystem to permeate everywhere because the liquidity is coming, the volume is coming, the market cap is coming. When you're in a bull market, the liquidity is coming. So I don't think it's taken away. I think if bloat does well, it'll cause others to think, well, what the hell else is going on in the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem, right? Let me look at what's going on. So I'm not someone who thinks that this is pulling liquidity out because DeFi Kingdoms is the type of ecosystem that goes blockchain to blockchain. So yeah, what happens when we go blockchain to blockchain? You do have some liquidity that flows out because some players are transitioning, but you also get uh people in other ecosystems that become interested, right? Become very interested in what's going on. And you saw what happened when we had our 700% run. We had every possible crypto Twitter or crypto X influencer, talking about DeFi Kingdoms and just putting out tweets and causing a lot of hype. So I don't mind because hey, look, it can be put out there and it can do horrible. You know what I'm saying? It could be put out there, it could do horrible, it can crash, and who gives a damn, right? But if it's actually out there and it's being successful, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing for the ecosystem, right? It's something that's doing well outside the ecosystem. Oh my gosh. I wonder what's going on in the ecosystem, right? So yeah, I'm not against it. All right. So I'm currently signing in to do a boar hunt. Um, hopefully I land something good. Last couple of days I have not been landing much. I see some people that have like 200 plus void shards, 1,000, 2,000 plus, hunts. I think I have like 115, 120 under my belt, but I will say I do think that I have gotten some very good drops. I've gotten some good drops. So last time I used my primary team. This time I'm going to use my secondary team with my archer that has the bow. That's actually not as guaranteed of a win. It's not as guaranteed of a win. Um, but you want to do a little showcase of the quality and power of the bow. So if I can remember, okay, so for my second team, I use this level 12 common priest. I use this archer here, which this is one of my first, uh, one of two of my first heroes that I ever purchased. I thought it was going to be useless after 2 years, and after it going down 99% from where I purchased it. But it's been very, very useful in the void hunts. It's been very, very useful in the void hunts. And the dexterity was highlighted at when I first got it, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna level it up. I had no clue what I was doing. It's not stoned, but it's an absolute perfect hero for void hunt. So this is how like keep hold on to your heroes, build them out. You never know out of your batch who is built to do well, right? Who's going to be able to help you. But in the meantime, while you wait for utility with, you can go ahead and quest and have them pull things. I think as we go into the new void hunts, where we are going to have BYOP, bring your own potions. The general thought is, man, what kind of demand is this going to put on potions? Not only potions, but hey, what is required to make potions? The same items that your heroes are questing. So now that it's going to be BYOP, what effect is that going to have on items? What effect is that going to have on potion price and value and demand? What effect is that going to have on hero price and demand? And this is all a part of the economic hardening theory. And I see nothing but bullish price action, for the items, for the ecosystem in general, and for hero appreciation. And really, if this game gets as popular as we believe it will, then hey, we actually may not have enough heroes. We may not have enough heroes to actually get through to every user, right? So let's get this board hunt done. Let's actually go for a win. It's not a guaranteed win. Let's go for it. And I know that intern is just really not a fan of the priest, but I love the priest. Sticks intern is not a fan of control and dragging out the win. I love control. I love command and control, dragging out the win, and uh, that's just how I roll. Now, when it comes to and let me get myself back on stage here. Yeah, we're back on stage. Yeah. Boar hunts. Yeah, let me get myself back on stage here. And actually, uh, sorry about that. I'm gonna quickly fix this here. Just give me a second. All right, back on stage. All right, so yeah, so I think that with the next boar hunts and BYOP, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. And if we enter the boar hunt, this new boar hunt, while what? While Bitcoin is gone through its correction and now Bitcoin is working through positive price action, it's going to be very interesting. So with my boar hunts, if you guys have seen me hunt before, I go with the Holy Trinity. I don't care about being nudged because if my heroes have enough agility, there you go. My priest can sit in front and the boards are going to miss, right? My priest can sit in front and the boards are going to miss. And what I do is I do throw Holy Beacon, right? So I make sure that my priests have high wisdom. They have a lot of mana. And so I can throw whoever gets thrown out in front, I can throw Holy Beacon at them and have them recover, So my knight is going to recover while, it sits there and then the priest can also has a good enough agility, and the priest naturally has some evasion. So we've already gotten a miss when they nudged my priest there, which also gave me a extra kind of turn there. So I'll leave my priest up there. I don't care. We're gonna get this board down, and then we're gonna start using bleed and piercing on the boars, on the other boars, so I can prepare them as well. See, he's gonna heal him. I don't care. Use all your healing. My priest is there. It took a crit. I don't care. The board just kind of taunted. I believe the board taunted. I don't know if he missed or not. But my priest is there. My priest is also a level 12. I focused on vitality with him. So he has enough health to sit there, eat damage, and kind of heal himself, right? Well, so now that he's being taunted, not only does he have to attack the mama boar, but the priest could not heal himself. But again, he has enough where I believe he'll be okay. We're not going to start hitting the boars with piercing arrow. And my archer has nice. My archer has this bow that I did go buy, but again, the goal is to go ahead and win a bow, right? And then you break even, and now you can continue winning boar hunts. Oh, lucky I got bleed on all of them. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. So my priest is hanging out. He has the holy beacon, so he's chilling and recovering, even though he's bleeding. I could try to move my knight up, but quite honestly, I'm expecting a nudge when I get the other boar, the baby boar, down as well. So I have no reason to do too much because his the front boar's XP is already going down, and I'm gonna continue to use the bleed from the archer. Now, normally the mama boar will start to show some charging. It hasn't yet, so hey, that's fine. That gives me more time to prepare to execute and murder the two baby boars in front of me. So yeah, we're gonna continue using the bleed. That's gonna bring the front board down, but also put me in a position that when the charge happens, to take out the second boar. So, my strategy is pretty simple. These heroes have been ones that we've been building for the last 2 years or so. And now we're finally getting a chance to test them out, put them to use, right? There we go. We got some resistance there. All the boars are bleeding. The charge has not been activated yet. Now we're gonna try some mighty strike so we can prepare this boar. Even though he is bleeding, I don't expect to totally take him down, and I do expect Mama Boar to start charge now. Come on, yeah, there we go. You little pussy. So yeah, he set up his charge, which is perfect. My priest has the holy beacon on, and he's been chilling. He's been healing. He's been eating hits, which is perfectly fine. I don't mind. So everybody's cool. I'm going to, go ahead the low mana calls prayer of healing, so he can be ready to eat more. I'm gonna take my archer. He has enough, right? To 19. That might not leave me enough to possibly use piercing shot. So we're gonna do a regular attack because he has the bow. I think that he should hit, so we can take out this front board here. Oh, see, he missed, but you know what? It's okay. I think that the bleed will set. Okay, so it's okay. I think that the miss is okay because the bleed will set up for me to use piercing shot next time. And take him out. There we go. Another miss from the priest. I can now use my knight to take this guy out before the charge. And then, hey, we're set up for success. Oh, another miss. That's okay. All right, get your charge through. All right, cool. He dazed me. He hit me. It is what it is. Now we are going to take our priest. We're going to heal everyone, including the priest. Still have not had to use a potion yet, so that's a really good thing. The mama boar is gonna be exhausted for a while. He's nudging me. He's hitting me. That's okay. I don't think we're gonna miss this one. If you miss this one, I'll call. Oh my gosh! All right, that's okay. Like I said, we're just gonna end up having to use this piercing shot. If he misses this piercing shot, I'm calling cheating. Okay. So we got him out of the way. I could try to heal my priest. I could try to give my priest some sort of mana potion so the priest can heal everybody else. But what I want to do is I want to protect. Let's see. Let's protect the priest because, you know, he's an integral part of the strategy. We're going to leave the archer there. The archer does not have enough mana to kind of go crazy with it, but this is where the knight comes in, right? The knight is not going to be able to use his mana. I have enough here now to use the repeating shot. I think, yep, he's still exhausted. Mama Boar is still exhausted. So I'm going for a crit on this. Maybe we can obliterate him. He's done. He is done. So that is repeating shot. The power of repeating shot. When you still have that window, right? When you still have that window to get rid of the baby boars before and after the charge, take advantage of that, right? Get you some priests that have some decent health. You can also dark summon, you know, some common priest. This is a common priest and he's killing it, right? This common priest is absolutely killing it. So I'm gonna use this opportunity, even though I don't need this. Actually, I don't need this. I'm gonna give the mana to my archer because we're trying to get rid of Mama Boar with some powerful moves here. I actually don't think I need to heal anymore. So we're gonna leave the priest alone. We're not gonna give him any sort of mana potion. We're gonna use him to directly start attacking to bring this Mama Boar down. Let's see how much time we have left in the stream. Okay, we have about 15 minutes. All right. That's the thing about some of these. That's the thing about some of these hunts, especially if you're using the Holy Trinity, is that what I missed is that they can last a while. They can last a while. So we may not have time at the end to look at too many things, but you know, we're gonna see what loot we get at least. We're gonna see what loot we get at least from this hunt. Now, for where I am right now, do I think that I possibly need to give some mana to my priest? Yeah, I'm gonna use my priest turn, give him some mana, keep the archer cool, while we look to finish off this Mama Boar. So this is a pretty much a win, ladies and gentlemen. This is pretty much a win, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, my archer really. I honestly don't care about this. We're gonna go ahead and use the repeating shot again on the archer to try to obliterate this guy. 250, nice. Okay, he's exhausted. You know, he still has some HP left. We're doing this all and keeping our guys alive, man. This is a pretty easy win from the secondary team. He's taunting me. I don't mind that. We still have plenty of mana left on the night for some mighty strikes. And like this guy's done, right? This guy is New York strip steak. This guy is filet mignon. You know what I'm saying? This guy is, you know, a bacon, egg, and cheese. He's finished. You know, we're gonna use a basic attack on you. We're gonna finish off with you. You're done. We're gonna see what kind of loot that we get. So yeah, I think right now the win percentage on this hunt will probably continue to go up as people learn how to, you know, set up their right kind of heroes. And I'm very excited for the next boar hunt. Very excited for BYOP. And what that's gonna do for demand. But it's always good to kind of finish off the stream with the hunt. We're gonna take a quick look at DFK Yellow Pet Egg. We're gonna take a quick look at Bloat. And if we have a good enough suggestion, I'm gonna take a look at what the chat has for a suggestion with what? With the last 11 minutes we have before the jewelers. Come on. The jewelers, come on. We are the Saturday night crew. It's a macro Saturday, and we had to have some fun. So let's see if we get any loot. Last week, nothing but 8 tiers. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. Yeah, I'm using my ledger, so it takes an incredibly long time. An incredibly long time to get this through. Oh, here it is. Okay, so maybe I hadn't pressed the transaction. I hadn't pressed it. Let's wait and see. While we're waiting for this to complete, let me take a look at the chat room real quickly. I know you guys are getting ready for the stream to come. Oh, I didn't even know we had this many chat in here. All right, so nothing special. Nothing special. 10 seconds later. Oh my gosh, miss. I think I might have had a lag. Nice shot. Yeah. Yeah, I love that Pearson shot. That shot landed was a swing moment. Oh yeah, doing well on the hunt, dude. Going to be ready. Thanks for stream. Yeah, for sure. Get ready for your stream. We're gonna see. So we currently have no chat suggestions. So we're gonna take a quick look at DFK yellow pet eggs. You guys know I'm bullish on DFK yellow pet eggs, and it's the same pattern that we continue to see in the DFK ecosystem. RSI continues going up, so the market continues to buy up DFK yellow pet eggs and showing that over a period of time, all the way since May of 2023. We've had price going down, RSI going up. That's a pretty strong indicator. We have this 3-day chart where we have a bounce that's happening here. Again, with Bitcoin correcting, we could see the RSI come back down. We could continue to see this bearish action where, hey, don't be surprised if you see a 5-cent yellow pet egg. But again, based upon the RSI, we still think that we're waiting for bullish divergence. It could take us on a trip to 17 cents, a trip to 23 cents. But overall, we're looking for a 349% move from DFK Yellow Pet Egg to about 51 cent as the first macro leg. I think the battle at 23 cents is going to be really, really important, but very, 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 very bullish on DFK Yellow Pet Eggs. And when we look at bloat, bloat has shown some positive price action. Top of the Bollinger, don't be surprised to see a correction back down to this level here on the mid Bollinger. But overall for bloat, we could be looking at a 655% run. If this baseline holds here, we could be looking at a 655% run from below. So that's cool. I like to see more things in the DeFi Kingdom ecosystem, but and I may look to possibly hold some bloat, but I'm still a big advocate and fan of the in-game bloater asset as the official meme coin of DeFi Kingdom. So, guys, that is the stream that we have for today. Remember, we will be storytelling over the next couple of weeks, and we're gonna have some special guests on next week or sometime soon. We're gonna have Zealous and DFK Helper on. We're gonna dig more into the technology part of this DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem, and what's happening with that. But guys, thank you for coming in. Thank you for being here. It is always fun. It is always awesome looking at the macro end of things. And we are absolutely bullish. Thank you. I'll see you on the Jewelers Podcast. Bullish.